Thanks, Mom. I'm glad you're here.
You were a gift to me then, and you still are. Do you know I still have a photo of you as a little girl in my wallet?
Yeah? I like to remember when Benjamin and Ava were little too.
They sure were precious.
I remember them perfectly in my mind. And when I don't like them as teenagers, I can close my eyes and go back to when they were little, anytime I want.
Oh, honey, those years were really sweet. Our imagination is a powerful thing, but the past is in the past. We can't live there.
Oh, but I can if I want to. Sometimes the past seems so much better than the present. Don't you wish you could bring Daddy back?
Well, sure, but in reality, I can't.
Let me see that photo. Wait, am I wearing an ugly Christmas sweater?
It was not ugly, it was adorable. I recently bought this similar one in the thrift store. Bought it for myself.
Mom, you did not!
I did! Why anyone would want to get rid of this beauty?
I can only imagine.
Well,
no text back yet. Do you know how much I hate our hill in the winter?
no, but I could ask Mr. Siri. Hi, Siri.
Hello, woman who gets more beautiful with age.
See how encouraging he is? Siri, how much does my daughter hates Concord Pass in the winter?
You can't read my mind, Mom.
But I'm getting close. You were just missing me, right?
Right.
Hi, Mom. Welcome, and nice sweater. And and Ava aren't home yet?
No.
You tried texting them?
Yes. I told you Benjamin shouldn't be out driving in this.
I'll try to text Sam's parents and see where they left.
I hate having teenagers. It's like putting your heart on the middle of a dance floor and hoping no one steps on it. You know, if Benjamin was still 4, he couldn't drive.
And if he was still 4, he would still be throwing temper tantrums. I prefer a teenager.
Well, I don't. Everything is out of my control and I don't like it.
There's only one person throwing a temper tantrum in this house, and it isn't a kid.
You can take classes for that, honey.
Ben! Hey, bud, you okay? The roads are a sheet of ice.
Yeah, tell me about it. We slid off Concord Pass and we're stuck in a ditch. We can't get out. I've got Ava with me.
You've got to be kidding.
Where are you exactly?
In front of the old farmhouse.
I know right where you are. Stay there. I'll come get you in the Jeep.
Don't worry, we couldn't go anywhere if we tried.
You're giving me a blanket.
Right.
You're thinking I'm cold?
Close.
I'll go get them.
Be careful, honey.
I'll do my best.
Lord, please protect my kids. I tried to tell them not to go, and I didn't want Benjamin to drive, and none of this would have happened had they all just stayed home where they're supposed to be.
I wonder how Mary felt about her baby growing up.
What?
Well, Mary was just a mama like you, like me. She was the mother of God, but she didn't know her future. She didn't know that her son would only be given 33 years, that he would be so loved and so hated by so many, that she would watch him die to save her soul and live again to give her hope. She couldn't hang on to her past, couldn't stop the future. All she could do was to live in the present and to hold her baby.
It must have been joy, like no joy had ever been. hold the Savior, to see with wonder heaven's glory, to touch the face of love and mercy. Abide in us and make our hearts your manger. Oh, hallelujah, to hold the Savior. Our hope resting there in a stable filled with hay. A promise so small, yet fears all fade away. To stand in the presence of God's holy favor, to cradle a child, to hold the Savior, to see with wonder heaven's glory, to touch the face of love and mercy. Abide in us and make our hearts your manger. Oh, hallelujah, to hold the Savior. Abide in us and make our hearts your manger. Oh, hallelujah, to hold the Savior. Oh, hallelujah, to hold the Savior.
I don't like not being in control, Mom.
You never have, dear. That's where trust comes in.
Yeah, well, trust is not my spiritual gift.
Well, I don't think it's easy for any one of us. Not even for Mary. Think of her having to accept that there was no room in the inn.
I would not have stood for that.
And then Mary had to watch Jesus grow up. Can you imagine how responsible she must have felt to protect God's son?
Right. She would never have let him drive on icy roads.
Remember how she and Joseph left Jerusalem and realized that they had left Jesus behind?
And she had to pray, "Dear God, I'm very sorry I lost your son."
Imagine how scared she was that he was missing. Every time fear crept in, Mary had to choose to let go and trust the one she knew was writing the story. You know what, honey? In a few minutes, Ben and Ava will walk through that door.
Yeah, hopefully.
They will. And they need their mama to be here.
I am here.
No, all here. Not living in the past, not wishing they were little again, but all here, present. They need you. Not like they needed you before, but they still need you.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that at some point, you need to say goodbye to that little Benjamin and Ava on your mind and accept Ben and Ava for who they are.
No. My imagination isn't hurting anybody, Mom.
Well, just think about it.
I found these poor frozen vagabonds on the side of the road and
I'll-
rescued them.
I'll take them.
Grandma!
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, big guy. Sounds you two had an adventure.
More like a nightmare.
Did you bring food?
Only your favorites. And I understand your neighbor brought over some cookies.
I love Christmas.
I love it too. It means that I get to be here with you.
Christmas comes but once a year. As seasons go, there's none so dear. Making special moments count while those we love are near. Christmas comes but once a year. Christmas comes to you and me, and all the world is sure to be lit with strands of twinkling lights of peace and harmony. Christmas comes to you and me. Christmas came one starry night,
The shepherds saw the awesome sight.
as hopes and dreams to earth grew near, and love came shining bright.
In that moment, I realized I stood precariously on the edge of missing it. Of missing this entire Christmas because my expectations and my reality didn't match. I suddenly saw Ben and Ava for who they were, young adults who still needed their mom. They didn't need a mom who lived in the past, but one who lived in the present, who could be there for them this Christmas, tonight, right now. And I knew what I had to do.
Christmas comes but once a year, and all too soon it disappears. So laugh and love and live the dreams that fill your heart with cheers. Christmas comes but once a year. Christmas comes but once a year.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
I was worried about you.
it was kind of scary.
I can imagine.
Well, I'm glad I'm home. Hey, thanks for setting the coat and blanket with Dad. I was freezing.
Sure. How was your time with Ashley?
It was fine.
Yeah? Good.
Actually, she's having a hard time this year. This is her first year Christmas without her dad.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I just wanted her to know that she wasn't alone.
That's really kind of you, Ava. I love you, honey. I'm glad you made it home safe.
Me too.
Hey, Mom, when's dinner?
Soon, Ben.
Hey, Mom called me Ben.
If you're so hungry, why don't you come and help me with dinner? You too, Ava.
You rock, Grandma.
What are you thinking about?
Guess.
You're thinking I look like your Romeo in this sweater.
How did you know? Actually, I was just thinking how close I was to missing this.
Missing what?
Being here with you and the kids. All here.
Where else would you be?
Lost in my imagination, I guess. Sometimes I don't like reality, and the future scares me. What if our kids make dangerous choices?
They will. I did, you did. You married me, remember?
Yeah, I remember. I guess I don't feel very confident parenting these days. I used to think I had all the answers, but now I just have a lot of questions.
I don't have very many answers either. All we can do is trust the one who is the answer. And we were young, and maybe just a little bit naive about all that life and love's supposed to be. Back then it was so easy to believe. Though we both changed, one thing remains. And Jesus is still the answer to what we're facing now. And Jesus is still the answer to every fear and doubt, for all the questions of the world and whatever comes against us. And Jesus is still the answer.
Time goes by faster than I thought it would. There's a woman where a little girl once stood. But I've learned through all the seasons, God's still good. Now standing here, it's all so clear. Jesus is still the answer to what we're facing now. Jesus is still the answer to every fear and doubt, for all the questions of the world and whatever comes against us. Jesus is still the answer. The answer. Oh, it's easy to see that we've been blessed.
So when life no longer making sense,
What a comfort to know we can hold on to this. Jesus